An artist living in a gentrified part of Chicago discovers an urban legend of a boogeyman haunting the mirrors of the town. As he feels the need to draw inspiration from the mythical Candyman, he enters a world of terror, pain, and revenge. Hey everyone, welcome back to Clubhouse Movies Podcast. I am your host, Mark Rubalcaba, film enthusiast and horror connoisseur, and I'm joined by Mr. Abel Pineda, photographer and lover of movies of all kinds.
Oh yeah.
Today, we are going to do a quick take review of Candyman 2021, which is the sequel to the 1990s horror classic, co-written and directed by Nia DaCosta and produced by Jordan Peele of Us and, what was the other one? Get Out fame.
Oh yeah.
So this is a film about a couple, Anthony and Brianna. They're artists living in a newly renovated area of Chicago that used to be part of the ghetto. They learn of this long-lost myth of the Candyman. Anthony is going to be kind of like the weaker of the two artists. He decides to do an expose on the Candyman. But like all mythical beings, the more you know about something, the more you believe it. And then the more you fear it, and then it's already too late.
Oh.
So yeah,
Dramatic pause.
This movie here gets to you.
Really? Because if it gets to you, I'm assuming it's the original got to you as well. Because man, as a kid, that movie got me.
So this movie took like all the best elements of the original and brought it up.
Oh my
like if you
God.
watch,
it was so visceral.
If you watch the first one, even the opening credits is like, even nowadays, it'd be like a drone shot or or like a helicopter shot of Chicago. The cinematography on this movie is on point.
Which is crazy for a scary, like a horror movie.
Well, horror movies always try to draw like Van Gogh kind of, or remember like the Scream. Like
they try, but they rarely hit it. You know?
This movie does like a similar panning shot. And I'm just talking about like the opening credits.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's the contrast and the focus of like the cityscape of it.
Yeah.
It's so visceral and weird.
Oh, man.
And I think it's backward. Like the opening credits, the logos are, the logos are backwards too. So like just getting into,
you're seeing the mirror world.
Yeah. Just getting into this movie is weird.
That's crazy.
So it was a really beautifully shot movie, really rich textures, colors, and of course, gore. This movie is
lots of gore. Because I'm not a gore, like I like scary movies, but I like more thrillers and suspense than I am for gore.
It's not necessarily a gory movie. It is a slasher, right? But they're
like, is it unapologetically a slasher where it's like, no, it's just like, oof.
It's it gets to you because when you first kind of watch it, and you see the trailers, at least some of the trailers, you watch it and you're like, oh, that's not the Candyman, or that's not what's happening. Yeah. They're changing the story. Oh, is it a reboot? Is it a soft reboot?
That's what I thought.
Okay, see the first one.
I have seen the first one.
I mean, like, I'm telling everybody in Worldland podcast, YouTube land, see the first one, then see this one, because the first one is still really good. It still holds up.
Yeah, especially with the grit and the grime that it was.
This one, starts off like gentrified because the first one, just to kind of go back, took place in the ghetto, right? Yeah, in a real ghetto in Chicago. Yes, apparently.
Yep. And
then this one, they said they tore it down. They gentrified it. They built a nice.
Yeah, like
area.
I have a scene ingrained in my head where feet are just crushing just trash.
Yeah. But there's the myth of the Candyman.
Yes.
And if you look into the mirror, say his name 5 times, he will come with his hook hand and tear you from groin to sternum or gullet or whatever. Yeah. And that was his thing. But there were some like imposters. Yeah. And the woman was actually like, I forget her name, Helen, I think her name was. She was trying to do another expose on it. And then I'm talking about the first one. In this one, it's an African-American couple, right? Yep. And they're artists. Brianna is the girlfriend, and her brother actually just tells a ghost story about the Candyman, and that was it. But Anthony, the boyfriend, he takes it to like the next level and wants to. He goes to like the abandoned church that they went to in the first one, and he takes the pictures, but he gets stung by a bee. When this happens. And if you know the Candyman,
right,
they killed him with. He was he was
was he burned alive?
Okay, that was one of them.
Okay,
he was like a freed slave or something.
Yes. Yep.
He was a freed slave who fell in love with a woman, a white woman.
Yeah, it says right here. It says Was leads to the legend of the Candyman, the ghost of an artist, and son of a slave who was murdered in the late 19th century.
Yeah, so what they did was they cut off his hand, put a hook on it, killed him, threw a beehive on him, and then set him on fire, and they all laughed at him and called him Candyman.
Jesus.
And then his revenge was he would come back and haunt you if you say his name 5 times.
Candyman.
Candyman. But anyway, there is a twist here in the movie. Okay. But as it goes on, there's something called Tropophobia. Tropophobia.
Yeah.
The minute you write Tropophobia here, it's going to pop up and you're going to see things you don't like.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not even
going to look at it. I'm just going to read it right here. Tropophobia is an aversion to the sight of irregular patterns or clusters or small holes or bumps. It is not officially recognized as a mental disorder, but may be diagnosed as a specific phobia.
This movie uses Tropophobia.
Really?
This movie uses Tropophobia. In other words, don't get stung by a bee if you're if you're doing research on a boogeyman.
That's terrible, man. I'm not looking at any pictures right now because I don't want to be freaked out.
Yeah, because you look almost either you can't look away or you it is because I saw hints of it in the trailer.
Yeah.
But as this movie progresses, it gets more and more into it.
Okay.
And in a way, it was like I want to compare it to like the Joker in general.
Okay. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Candyman mythos in this movie.
Okay. And like as self-serving to itself?
Yes, very much so. Because it even starts like I'm going to compare this to the Joker. Like it starts with a different character and a different story.
Okay.
Right? But it is very much a Candyman-like event that happened to him.
Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah.
And there's a boy who sees it happen. But then like everyone latches onto this story. I don't want to say other story yet.
Yeah.
And this is the Candyman who's haunting everybody, right?
Holy crap.
Oh my God, like it's actually good. That's
this sounds...
I'm thinking about it now.
I'm like, man, I should have watched this. But I'm too much of a chicken.
Okay, so when the boy who witnesses it, he's actually, and this is the first scene in the movie, maybe I'm kind of giving away the twist as it goes on, but the boy who witnesses it is already haunted by the real Candyman.
No way!
Because his daughter and her friends, or his sister and her friends looked in the mirror, said his name 5 times, and haunted him, and he saw it happen.
Oh, shoot, dude.
And then he caught another unjust death.
Yeah.
Like the next day.
God, man.
So he became, you know what a familiar is? A familiar is like somebody who...
I mean, I've heard that word used in a bunch of like different
witches
shows.
And devils.
Yeah.
A familiar is somebody who does the bidding of like a vampire. So he became like and this happened in the 70s, right? If you remember the first movie and like, okay, so I'm going to go Spoilerville on this one. So sorry, guys.
I mean, we are a spoiler cast.
Yeah, I know we are, but the movie just came out like not too long ago, but I like to wait a few weeks before we start releasing these things. But if you see the first one, there was a plot hole in it that they solve, and they solved hard. Really? When I saw it, I was thinking, oh my God, that was a plot hole. The Candyman took a baby in the first one.
Yes.
And tried to set it on fire.
Yeah.
Right?
I remember.
Man, and Helen the woman saved it, and her hair burned off, and she died.
Yes.
Right? But in this movie,
holy crap, it's like flooding
everyone's
back to
telling different stories of the Candyman.
Yeah.
And then the Helen story comes up, but they said she went crazy. She tried to kill a kid. She tried to set him on fire. So it was just being more and more stories. And then eventually, she kept on... The guy, the only one who knew about the Candyman, like the real Candyman stuff, was the guy who owned the laundromat. And the main character, Anthony... Yeah. Like you really feel bad for this guy because Anthony, he did a really good job. Aya Abdul Mateen II. I'm sorry if you're butchering your name, but you did a really good job, buddy. Because he just kept on going back and kept on going deeper, and then the more he talked about it, more people started getting killed. He even had an art exhibit,
really,
where you have to look in the mirror and you see you say the name, and people start dying, and then one girl like did it for like a high school project. Yeah. And then, like she said, then she's like, let's just do it in the mirror in high school, like with her friends. Didn't go very well.
Yeah. Jesus.
But anyway, so the laundromat guy told him all the different stories, and and then eventually he went to the hospital because his bee sting started getting worse and worse, and it started looking like a beehive. That's where I say
Oh, that's so gross.
it started looking like holes, and
Yeah.
and it started coming up his arm, and it was weirder and weirder. And then when he gets to the hospital, they say, "Oh, it looks like you're from here." He's like, "I'm not from here." And he goes to his mom,
Yeah.
and they start talking about the thing. He's like, "Yeah, do you know anything about the?" Don't say his name.
Yeah.
Like, don't say his name. Like why? Like the hospital says I'm from here. It's like
What?
And like they started talking about Helen, like, you were so young, and like Candyman got you, and he brought you into the fire.
What?
We think he wanted you for like his next generation. So he was destined to become the Candyman.
Holy crap.
Oh, where's it? Hang on.
So he was destined to become...
He was destined to become like the next Candyman. Or one
What?
And the
What?
And the washing machine guy
Yeah.
told him that there were many of them, but it all started with the Candyman we know and love. Right?
What the
Because we've been seeing another dude, the dude who got killed at the beginning, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing. The washing machine guy, he was the familiar of the Candyman.
Oh, no.
So he was feeding him information, turning him into Candyman.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah, it was actually a really good twist.
I think I need to go watch this movie.
Yeah, it was a good twist. And because he's the one who saw it, he saw him murder that guy, and he created the next Candyman.
Yeah.
And all through this, Anthony's becoming the Candyman, and more people are like just dying because there is a Candyman out there anyway. And I must have said it like 14 times. by now.
Holy crap, this is crazy.
But he abducts Anthony, brings him back to that church.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, his like girlfriend's looking for him, right? And there's actually a really funny, self-aware scene where she goes to the laundromat, like looking for him because she found a pen, like from Jake's Laundromat. What's his name? Williams Laundromat or whatever, right? And she goes in the back room, and like she opens like the door to the basement. And it's like creepy and spooky, and she's like, "Nope," and just shuts the door. Everyone's like laughing. Nope.
That's so good, man.
Yeah, so it's a really good self-aware horror movie. But just to give away the ending.
Yeah.
So the laundromat guy dies, and they shoot Anthony dead. The cops do because everything happens, but like it becomes like you don't know what you saw. Like they start like interrogating her, or like they're saying like maybe you pulled a gun on us, like that kind of thing, right? And then she looks in like the mirror of the cop car and says it 5 times. And then he appears, but you can't see his face yet, right? Because he's like still like coming together, and he kills like all the cops.
What?
Yeah, he kills all the cops, and then like he kills everybody outside the cop car, like just see blood all over the place, and and he kills like the cop, and then like he drags him off to like the side, and then when he has him, he's the original Candyman. For the first time, you see like Tony Todd like he was said, you heard his voice, "Be my victim."
You're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Be
my witness.
That just creeped me the F out.
Yeah.
I'm a nope on that one.
Tony Todd does a really good job, and it's very good to see him back.
Yeah. Holy crap.
So see Candyman. It is a good movie, and like to me, like if you're just listening to a podcast, you didn't see the movie, see it, because I want to see more of them. I want to see more boogeymen done really well, and this movie actually had a female director, so female African American director, and it was on the top spot. So I guess that was the first.
That's cool.
So good cinematography, really sell the urban legend. The twist was good. I'm going to give it. Or do you have any quick questions about it before we go?
No, I think I asked the ones I needed to, man, and you gave me a whole answer of I can definitely be fine not watching it because I'm a chicken.
Yeah, I'm going to say B+, a truly epic slasher film. I was a fan of the Candyman mythos before. Here it was utilized and built upon. Beware, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. The movie will haunt you and keep you from looking in the mirror and saying his name 5 times. And I say B+, just because maybe you got a little cliche in the end with the crazy man.
Yeah,
and they're like, he's my masterpiece. Like Candyman will be back. And like the laundry, like I like it was the laundry store owner. Like it's awesome.
It's so weird.
But I think that there should have been a lot more deaths because he had an art exhibit.
Yeah.
And they should have been there was actually a really good murder in it where an art critic dies because there's murders happening.
Yeah,
since this happened, right? And she dies. But they should have said like more people are dying. Like it's not only here, like it's happening in others. Like it should have become an epidemic.
That's crazy.
But maybe you have to believe, which I'll buy. I'm willing to recant a higher grade. I'm going to give it just a B+ because it's a new movie.
Yeah.
And movies kind of need to air out sometimes.
They do.
But I'm saying
definitely recommend it, huh?
Definitely recommend it. So anyway, that has been our quick take on The Candyman 2021. I'm your host, Mark Rubelkov for Clubhouse Movies Podcast. We're joined by Mr. Abel Pineda. We will catch you next time.